talking about research for these neglected diseases is, I think, super important. And every year when the G-Finder report comes out, we get a chance to look at the positive trends and the disappointing trends and remind people how important this work is. Only through this work will we beat HIV. In fact, unless we have innovations coming through this pipeline, the population growth, the limitations of our current tools means that HIV will actually go back up and set new records in terms of deaths caused. So this pipeline is crucial for every one of these diseases, including the big three: tuberculosis, where we need new drugs, and a vaccine; HIV, where we need tools of protection, a vaccine, and others; and then malaria, which is a great example of a disease where if we continue to rely on the same tools, the same bed nets and the same drugs, that the disease evolves around those as it has many times. And so even to stay and have this miraculous progress of 1 million deaths down to 500,000 deaths, we've got to drive the innovation pipeline. The total is disappointing. That is, the amount of research on these neglected diseases has not gone up. It's even gone down somewhat. Within that picture, there are a few things that are positive. We're certainly thankful that the European Commission came in the second spot there. We wish it took $400 or $500 million to come into second as opposed to $125 million, but still, we appreciate the great relationship we have and the catalytic nature of that funding. We also saw in the Ebola category a fairly quick response, and that pharma stepped up in a big way when they got the call. The Commission was able to get IMI money out. We got engaged in that. And I think the lesson out of Ebola, where it was all done after the epidemic came along, those lessons have come together in the creation of CEPI. And so CEPI, I think, is very hopeful that we're going to use new platforms, DNA, RNA type platforms, and go after some specific pathogens that the scientific committee rated as high risk, and not only come up with, say, a MERS or Nipah vaccine, do it on top of those platforms where the promise is that even if an unknown pathogen came along, the chance that we could quickly turn around and manufacture a breakthrough vaccine would be far, far better than we've ever had in the past. So, the overall picture is not developing as much as we'd like to see it. Our foundation is very committed to the long term. This is the area that we work in. 20 years from now, we'll still be working in this area. The only thing that would get us out of this area is if we manage to eradicate these diseases. And I have to say that's probably a lifetime of work, because some of them are very, very difficult. In fact, by having a success with polio, I think that'll energize the field and get us to go really look at, okay, what does it take to do measles and do malaria? And that means new innovative tools that meet a demanding profile. So I think the transparency of this report is helpful to us. It's a reminder that we should thank everybody who contributes, but we need to figure out how to draw in more resources. There's no doubt this field could absorb double the resource in here super, super effectively with very high returns.